Hey guys, how you doing today? It's Andy. I want to say, first of all, thank you so much for the incredible response to the videos so far on this channel. Last week, we did Q&A part 1, which went really well. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for all of your amazing questions. This week, the primary focus is going to be about my audiobook, which released today, February 9th. The link is below this video in the description. But also, we're going to do a few more questions. So this is theoretically both an audiobook plug and Q&A part 2. Now, the only way that I can really do this, in fact, there is no way to do this without just seeming like I'm overtly advertising my thing, but I'm really excited about the audiobook, and I want to share that with everybody. And I want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for making They Don't Need to Understand the #1 rock book on the Amazon bestsellers list. That is incredible. To know that my story has resonated with you guys in such a way that you feel that it's relatable and that you enjoy the story and you enjoy the book means the world to me. And yeah, of course, with something like a book, you don't know whether it's going to work, so to speak. And you know, I was honest, I told my story, and hopefully it's something that you guys enjoy. The physical book, which looks like this, is still available out there. You can go get it. And the audiobook, again, is out today. I narrated it, my first time ever narrating an audiobook, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, this is my shameless plug at the top of this video because I'm really excited about it. So if you have listened to the audiobook or you've picked it up, by the time you're watching this video, it would have come out earlier this morning. If you've heard it or you're interested in hearing it, let me know in the comments what you like about it, or if you do in fact enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, don't tell me, because that is mean, and it would be nice to not have mean anymore. In the immortal words of Shakespeare, I wish everybody would stop being such an asshole all the time. So because the audiobook is out today, I'm going to open this physical book to a random chapter, and I'm going to read a little bit of it as as also, as Shakespeare would say, preview of the audiobook, in case you're curious about what it sounds like with me reading a book. I feel like it's not that big of a leap to hear my voice now and extrapolate off of that what a book might sound like, but fuck it. So I'm going to read the introduction to the book, and yeah, I don't know if this is weird for me to just sit in this room in my house and read a book to a camera, but I just want you guys to see what the audiobook might be like. Maybe you listen to this and go, I absolutely don't want the audiobook, in which case then I'm really screwing myself here. But maybe you hear it and go, wow, I want to hear more of that shit. The ultimate goal was to create something grand, a legacy. I've never been ashamed to say that I want success, even when the definition of success changes. There's a stigma attached to doing too much. I've been willing to do everything that's in front of me, whatever it takes to achieve my goals. Complacency is the enemy. This book isn't a memoir necessarily. I'm too young for that. I just want to explain as much as I can about how this happened in hopes that someone reading it will be able to draw inspiration from my story and feel encouraged to continue to build their own. I'm also writing this to say thank you. Thank you for 10 years of opportunities. Thank you for allowing me to evolve into a better person. Thanks for growing up with me, for singing with me, and for inspiring me. Because of you, I get the chance to do this all over again. Now when I go on stage and perform these songs, both old and new, I'm doing it not from behind some rock star mask. I'm doing it as an adult, a sober, married, comic book sports nerd. And while that may not be the way all of my rock heroes were perceived, it turns out it was who I was meant to be. To me, that is my original rock and roll dream come true. So that's a little bit of the audiobook, which is out now. Hopefully you enjoyed that weird thing where I sat in this room and read the book. The audiobook is, I believe, a much better listen than watching me do it, but hopefully you enjoyed that little segment. It is available now. It is, I think it's several, I don't know, 5 hours long. It took a while to do it, and yeah, it's a lot of listening material for you. So hopefully you enjoy that. And again, let me know if you've listened to the book, and if you've read the book, let me know. Right now, we are going to do a few more of the Q&A questions, because I want to get to those, so let's do that. Okay, first up today, Crystal Lopez asks, what's the weirdest dream you've had or can recall? All right, Crystal. Now this is a completely original narrative that I dreamt up, where I was the son of the king of the jungle. And on the day that I was born, a family friend who was small in stature lifted me up on a large rock in front of the rest of the animal kingdom, and they all got up on their haunches and did like a this thing. And then through the course of the story, my uncle was kind of a dick. My father, unfortunately, ended up getting run over by all the other animals in the animal kingdom. I then had to go on the hero's journey to become the king of the jungle myself. And so, look, I don't know where that came from, but that was an original dream that I had that I fully thought of in my own head. Okay, Shiro asks, King Kong or Godzilla? Now, this is the age-old question of King Kong or Godzilla. And the truth be told, there is no answer other than Kingzilla, which is a combination of King Kong. It is the top half of King Kong and the bottom half of Godzilla. So you've got silverback gorilla, torso, arms, and face, and then giant dinosaur monster, legs and tail. It's the most effective means of covering the most bases in terms of destruction that you could imagine. So everybody, please shout out to Kingzilla, the best. Venla Lavinto asks, what is your favorite kind of cheese? Munster cheese, because it is the scariest. Joshua Haggerty asks, what's the main force that drives you in your life? Joshua, I would say that the main force that drives me in my life is just, it's kind of twofold. On one level, my interest in just being a good person to my family and to the people around me. When I was younger, that maybe wasn't as much the motivational force. A lot of what's in the book is when I was younger, I wanted some sort of emotional revenge on the people that I had perceived as wronged me. And in many ways, I think that we all can take things that are bad and use them as driving factors in our life. But as I've gotten to this point in my life, I feel like the thing that drives me the most is just trying to be less of a shithead than I was the day before, and that's an eternal journey to be even less of a shithead every day that I live. When it comes on a creative level, the thing that drives me is just to be able to make something that wasn't there before. To build a world, characters, ideas, songs, concepts in general. That's the thing that is the most thrilling part of being an artist, is to be able to make something exist that prior to you putting it there did not exist. And I think that is one of the most fulfilling things that can happen as far as from any creative perspective. That's the most fulfilling thing you can do. All right, Proale X asks, have you ever told your mom it's not a phase? Yes, literally every conversation we have, I have not said a word to my mother other than it's not a phase for 15 years. I'll call her up in the morning or whatever, and she thinks we're going to have a full conversation, and all I just repeat over and over ad nauseum is, it's not a phase, 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 it's not a phase. It's not a phase. Mark Paris asks, what's your least favorite interview? Okay, this is the final one we'll do today, because this is a story that I believe I've told before. Viewers of my podcast will know this story, but we were, I'll set up the story a little bit. We were in Japan, and there was a journalist from, I want to say, Germany, or I believe it was Germany. So we're at this festival in Japan. The day prior, we had missed our connecting flight, and all of our gear went to Switzerland instead of Japan. So we were flying from Europe to Japan, and we were going to play a show that day. We land, none of our gear's there, we are exhausted. We had played a show, went to the airport to fly, missed the flight, had to stay at the airport overnight, come back, go through customs and everything else again, get on the plane, fly in, and then play the festival show that day. So we are dead tired. And we did a round of press like you do at any kind of festival, and I remember we were sitting, it was just myself, and I think it was just me at the table, and in the other room were CC, Jake, and I think it was just CC and Jake on the other side of the wall. And this interviewer was very nice, but I was just dead tired and exhausted, and every single question that came at us, or came at me rather, was makeup tips. And it was, the thing was, it wasn't, I could entertain that for maybe 3 or 4 questions about how we do our makeup and all that stuff. But then it reached almost a comedic level because it was just makeup. So like finally I said, hey, is it possible that there's any questions in this that aren't about how we apply our makeup? And the interviewer goes, yes, of course. The next question is totally different. And then almost like it was like comedically planned, the next question comes and it's, if you had to give any tips to younger bands who would want to wear makeup? What are those? And I lost it, and I was so. I didn't lose it in the sense of like yelling and screaming. I just couldn't. But I believe the kids say I couldn't even. That was the epitome of can't even, because there was just too many consecutive makeup questions. So my apologies to that interviewer. It's been many years since then. I'd be happy to answer your makeup questions now. I was just so tired, and I had already said so much about it, and that's the story of that. Anyway, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video today. Thanks for submitting your questions. We will do a proper Q&A part 2. I guess it'll be part 2.5 or whatever next week, so that I can get to more of these. And then we're going to move on to some different types of videos on this channel. Perhaps the promised dolphin video. But I've got some ideas of how I can do some new stuff. But yeah, so the audiobook is out right now. Link is in the description. Hopefully you enjoy it, and I will see you guys next week here. But before I go, never forget my classic catchphrase. If nobody ever bought enough helmets to give to everybody, then there would be nobody there wouldn't be enough helmets for everybody to have one, and then it would be dangerous. So just keep on making sure that there is a helmet for everybody that wants to wear one. Protect. Thanks.